Welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you. Thanks for checking out the channel. Hope everybody's doing fantastic out there in Heat Nation as finally the summer has arrived. All right, the NBA season has mercifully come to an end with the Boston Celtics hoisting the Larry O'Brien trophy. Inevitable once they, of course, went up 3-0, and they closed it out with top hats and monocles, much like I'm hoping the Cats can do tonight. That's why I've tried to steer my karma in the right way. I've not gone and lashed out on social media, even though people want me to. People think that I'm going to be diabolical. You think you're going to bait me into certain debates? No. You know what? The asterisks and the caveats and the excuses, those are always there for us. You know, we'll deal with those things. How do I feel about this Boston team hoisting the trophy and Miami going out in the first round and Miami getting bounced by Boston this year? It all hurt. I mean, I'm not gonna, but I kind of coped with that back when the series was what it was. You know, I don't feel any type of way differently from Boston eliminating the Miami Heat as I do seeing them raise the championship, because once your team is bounced, that's kind of it, you know. And, you know, I kind of feel like from their standpoint, yeah, they better have won. Like, it's kind of to my point of, like, don't lose. Like, yeah, you shouldn't have lost. If you didn't win this year, when the hell were they going to win? So, you know, to see them finally do it is annoying because nobody ever wants to see their rivals do well. But it doesn't feel any worse than the season coming to an end when it did a month and a half ago. That's kind of the way I look at it. And so right now I'm at the point where it's like I'm just thinking about, and I've been thinking about, where the Heat are at and where the Heat's front office mentality is at and where they're going to be, because, you know, quite frankly, there's no way that the front office and the coaching staff and the stars on the team, there's no way they can't look at it and feel like they woefully underperformed this year, that it was a completely frustrating year, and there were things that were out of their hands, and that thing, you know, sometimes that does happen. You know, I recall back in 2016, right, when LeBron ends up winning the title with the Cleveland Cavaliers, and to me, in a lot of ways, I think Heat fans and Heat culture, you had a lot invested in that as well, because there was a lot of spite on LeBron leaving. Maybe some of you punk kids don't remember. But, yeah, the organization was hurt. They were hurt feelings. And then, of course, that ends up inevitably leading to Pat Riley getting too personal and letting Dwayne Wade walk. And all of it just led to bad stuff. But even at those times when the Cavaliers ended up winning the title, you would definitely have satisfaction if they threw up all over themselves. But the thing that was disappointing with the Heat is, you know, I do feel like the front office made moves, but they did have things that were out of their hands that they couldn't control. You couldn't control Chris Bosh getting sick. You know, you couldn't control one of your max players being unavailable for you and not being able to go at that thing and give it your best swing. Nobody wants to hear those excuses by the end of it, because boo-hoo. You know, you do what you had to do. We were throwing parties for getting Joe Johnson on the damn Heat by that time. But it felt similar in that, like, you just felt like it wasn't good enough because you couldn't beat LeBron to the finish line and to the Larry O'Brien trophy. Some of it was really, really unfortunate luck and out of your hands, but then also you still have to take stock as a front office and be like, well, what could we have done better? Because then all hell kind of breaks loose. You lose your franchise icon. You end up having a season you're proud of because you finish 500. You give 4-year contracts to guys who nobody was bidding for, and the Heat really needed a reset. And then, of course, we get to where we are with Jimmy Butler. I sound like I'm doing a retrospect, like I am like it's the start of a Pat Riley press conference. But if the organization wants to do the game of this season and just say, well, didn't have health, didn't have luck, you can do that. I mean, certainly you can sit here and you could say Terry Rozier's neck broke. Tyler Hero missed half the season. Most starting lineups we've ever had. Jimmy Butler, MCL sprain. Duncan Robinson's spine didn't work. You could do all of that, and you know what? You might have some points, but the thing that I think Heat fans will sit here and be upset about is, yeah, but you saw your competition lose to you, and they made pretty big changes to their rotation. They kept their stars. They had, of course, their best starter by them with Derek White, and then they went out and they got some moves. To their luck and credit, yeah, some things broke their way, right? They had probably a relationship and a demeanor with Joe Cronin that Pat Riley did not. And we can sit here and we can put Joe Cronin on the banner. We can say, believe Joe Cronin, and I'm there with you. But also, what could the Heat front office, what could they have done better to facilitate, the last summer, to have gotten them to a better spot to where they were, where it was run it back. Season kind of felt empty and frustrating the entire year. Couldn't really get anything going and rolling together. Back in the play-in, back in the 8 seed spot. Frustrating losses to the Pacers, frustrating losses to the Sixers when these could have been big swings in your seeding and maybe things would have broken your way better, and they didn't. Everything that you took for granted and everything that you left yourself open to put yourself in this position to watch your rival pass you by and hoist the trophy. Everything that you were rolling the dice on, it bit you in the ass. And that happened after 2021 too. They went into the bubble. They had this incredible run. They also had some bad luck break their way. No Goran, banned with half an arm. But their response that season was nothing. They didn't do anything. There was rumblings and talks of, maybe James Harden or Kyrie Irving or other whales that you could have brought in, because we all saw what was probably needed. You knew Goran was, you brought back, and instead you brought back Goran, you brought back Myers Leonard, you brought back the whole crew. You bring in a Trevor Ariza, and it just wasn't good enough. You get blasted in the first round. You watch the Bucks go win your championship, and then the Miami Heat went and made major moves to their lineup. And, you went and got a PJ Tucker. You got a Kyle Lowry. Whatever you think of that deal was a major move for Miami. They got hit with tampering charges, and they finished with a 1 seed. So, yeah, Miami has to look at themselves this summer into what just happened with the 2021 season, where they tried the run it back thing. It did not work. And this is mostly felt run it back basically since. It hasn't all been. There's been new guys and new characters who have been unlocked and who have helped. But they got to find that formula, man. They can't sit here and watch, like we talked about yesterday, the Sixers go out and make a big-time move. I got to, look at fuzzy pictures online of LeBron maybe having dinner with Daryl Morey. You can't look at all that and you're just going to sit here and be like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to let Jimmy Butler make a stink, have one last dance with him, and, hopefully Jovic and Jaquez are better. It's like that's where you're going to do that again? You're going to hope a whole season of Tyler, going to be 25. This will be the year where Tyler puts it all together. Maybe it will be. I won't rule it out, but I just feel like they have to take something into their hands this summer and make it happen. Because it does feel like a lot of people are on edge this summer, that they are going to make a lot of moves, that there's going to be a lot of shuffling around the league. And if you're going to sit here idly by and, continue to just be like, we'll see. I just don't think that's acceptable after what just happened. It wasn't acceptable back when it happened in 21, and you went and made some major changes. You didn't trade your stars, but you went and you did get rid of your starting point guard in Goran Dragic, and you made a significant addition of getting a champion in PJ Tucker. Yeah, there has to be something at least of that. Like you have to shuffle the deck a little bit and figure out where those spots are, because if you're just going to continue to sit here and, twiddle your thumbs and hope luck breaks your way, well, then you can't get much sympathy from the fans here watching the Celtics hoist the championship and then come down to your town and party. And I hope that part of it, I hope that pisses the Harrisons off. I hope that pisses Mickey and Nick off to see that these guys are coming to celebrate in your city. It almost feels like an extra FU to the Miami Heat organization. And I hope that stings for Pat. I hope it stings for Spo. to know that these guys get to parade the trophy around in your town. They didn't even win it down here. And, you have to sit here and get ready for the draft, which, yeah, I'm cool about it. I like this part. It's been fun diving into this stuff. But Miami needs to they need to counteract. They have to. They have to take the humbling experience that this is of their star believing that he could flip the switch, them treating the regular season like they could flip a switch, and really what got turned off was the entire circuit breaker. Like the whole box, that got turned off, dude. So I'm ready for the summer. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about overanalyzing Donovan Mitchell's shoe release. Shout out, who sent this to me on Instagram, just so I can give a nod. Liam. He's like, oh, Donovan Mitchell, by a fireplace? Hey. It's hard to make out what to do with these shoes. They're all kinds of colors. They kind of look like Starburst. Tell you what, Spider. July 5th seems like a fine time to your shoe gets released. Be a fine time to debut them in a new city. Peruse them around Biscayne Boulevard. I don't know, but I'm excited. That'll always get my juices flowing. I love this time of year, and the playoffs are boring. Let's be honest. Boston cakewalk.